If you're between the age of 45 and 60, you might be starting to feel some anxiety about your future. In fact, if you watch some of the YouTubers who speak to our generation, you might be convinced we're doomed. Look, we've made some mistakes, and we're not going to live forever. But we do not have to go gently into that good night. We're Generation X. We may have been labeled as such, but we are not lost, and we refuse to be forgotten. Now, if you're like me, you may have bought into a lot of lies about generations, careers, money, and retirement in the first half of your life. But the second half of life, that's going to be different. I'm speaking out because I don't think I'm alone in some of the conclusions I've come to in my late 50s. I enjoyed a childhood spent outside in the dirt. No sunscreen, no helmet, no seatbelt. Indoors, there was no internet, no computer, one fisheye TV, and a phone with curly cord that stretched halfway around the house. Music just hasn't sounded the same since my boombox ate my Def Leppard Pyromania cassette. Now, if that made you smile and float back through the years, we have some things in common, you and I. But I'm not here to reminisce. I'm not here to talk about parachute pants and mullets or relive the glory days. There are channels for stuff like that, and if you have time for it, have at it. I'm here to talk about your future. Because with some good decisions and a little luck, it's going to be a long one. The days coming up ahead should be your best days, even better than the 80s. Now, you're probably starting to come to terms with your mortality. Some creaky joints, some unwanted pounds around the middle, maybe a slow recovery after a run or a workout. Food not quite digesting in quite the same way. Maybe there's some new brown bottles in the medicine cabinet. Have you received that first mailer from AARP yet? Someone offered you a senior discount a bit prematurely? We've got to face it, we may have more days behind us than we have ahead now. There are 2 generations of people out in front of us, and a third is on the way. And you know what? We're still here. And there's a lot left for us to do. We're not the snot-nosed punk rock kids we used to be, a descendant of our parents and grandparents. We're ancestors now, too. People looked up to as elders. Maybe you're caught in the middle. You have aging parents you find yourself in the role of caretaker for. Maybe at the same time, there are millennial and Gen Z kids still living in the basement. Maybe you're established, promoted, even secure in your career, but you wonder how much longer you want to do it. Maybe you wonder if you shouldn't have been doing something else all these years. You most likely don't have a pension, and your 401k is a ticking time bomb. Social Security is a joke. Maybe you've already started to experience health problems, and you're wondering how you can best live your life with the time you have. Maybe you've seen a financial advisor, or at least gone to a couple of those free steak dinners at the local restaurant. You know, the ones where they show a boring PowerPoint about how miserable your life will be unless you buy this incomprehensible insurance product and fork over 1.5% of your account balance every year. As Rocky Balboa put it, as he was about to turn 60, we've got some stuff in the basement still. We're not done yet, but there's got to be more to life than just surviving. Do you really want to have that paycheck to paycheck feeling for the rest of your life? I sure don't. I've had the golden handcuffs of a corporate career wrapped around both wrists for more than 30 years. And I've been blessed. I've been able to pay my bills. I'm not complaining about that. But I am ready to bust free. I don't like the word retirement because it implies that all of the time and effort and energy that I've put in to supporting my employer's cause was my life's work. Are you kidding me? You think I'm going to quit just when I'm starting to get good at things? It's time to get out there and start working on my own dreams. And hopefully you feel the same way. Now, what's my strongest motivation for a strong second act of life? How about these cutie pies? Someday I intend to meet their children. Who will I be to them? Some smelly old dude sitting around waiting to die? No freaking way. The Bible says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. What does inheritance mean to you? To me, it means the ability to gather my family at my own expense if necessary, as often as I want, to enable the creation of memories that will never die. To me, inheritance means passing along the greatest hits of my life to those who will carry on my name and my legacy into the next century. The things I've learned. Whatever your experience is communicating with teenagers and people in their 20s, let's face it, we're going to be gone, and they've got to carry on. If they're not listening to us now, that's our problem. If we want them to go to a certain place, it's our responsibility to make it an attractive place to go to. In other words, be examples. Do more than just scrape by. Do it all and have something left over. Build something that makes a difference. Be someone worth taking advice from. Now, full disclaimer, I am future pacing, and this video is one of the first fruits, but I'm willing to keep an open mind, an open ear, an open mouth if you'll join me on this journey. There are some things that I truly believe I can offer with this channel. I've learned a great deal about mindset and the psychology of habits and change. Things like quantum physics and epigenetics, they sound a bit woo-woo, but real science has uncovered some surprising things about the human brain in just the past few years. The brain impacts the body. You and I are not going to become who we want to be with tiny little tweaks to our behaviors and lifestyle. We need to come out of the cocoon of the last half century and transform into people capable of living longer and better lives. I'll share the best of what I've learned with you. I have put the effort into learning how to effectively trade stocks and equity options using well-known defined risk strategies that at first to me were complex, and I thought my head was going to explode. And I almost quit, but I got over that hump and I learned this stuff. And I believe I can teach it in a very basic way to those of my generation who also want to learn starting from scratch, even if you know absolutely nothing right now. I will share that right here in upcoming videos. I firmly believe that a knowledge of active investing techniques can complement our passive saving strategies. This has the potential to supercharge future earnings and income. Enough to have it all, to do it all, and have some left over. This is a part of our legacy. We'll talk about the critical relationships between us and the younger generations. We're not any better than they are, and some of these young people are whip smart and wise beyond their years. We can and should learn from them. We also can and should teach them. We'll talk about important health and longevity topics. We want not just quantity of years, but quality in our years. To get the most out of late bloomers, you do need to subscribe to this channel, sign up for the free newsletter linked to in the description, and share this video, please, with like-minded individuals of our generation who you feel will make worthy members of the community. This is Late Bloomers, where it's better late than never, but it's never too late. My name is Mike, and I'm still here. I'll bring you something new every week. And if I don't, it means I'm dead. Until then.